Yeah, I never believed these guys in their mind output at all. They were full of shit. They were never programmed any mind output. They would lie. Um, I mean, in 2018, I was saying nothing negative will happen to me or my family numerous times, and nothing but negative shit was happening to me. So they're full of shit. Oh, what else? They just pick and choose what they claim to be programmed to. For instance, I was reading about remote sensory, or reading about some CNS manipulation of the nervous system article, and then they did shit to me. So they pick and choose what they're programmed to, and it typically involves negative things that they do to me. So I don't fall for bullshit. Nothing positive. They just try to do negative things to me. Bet my life on it. But another piece of this is, yeah, I've done so many tests saying, oh, if you're programmed in my mind, you need to go to you need to turn yourself into law enforcement, admit to every crime you committed, all the money you stole, where you hid it, all your terrorists involved with you, how much money you stole, and you need to tell the press about it too, and put your face on every publication around the globe in real life. No one ever did that. And I've done that test like 1,000 times. So these kids are full of shit. Don't fall for nonsense. And like I said, these no one's taking advantage of the program people. The program people are taking advantage of stupid people. Don't fall for bullshit. I bet my life. They've been trying to program me for 5 years and 5 months. I've never listened to these guys. They just do parlor tricks. Like if I'm doing sit-ups, they'll be like, "We programmed them to do sit-ups," or I'm working on an idea. They'll be like, "We programmed them to make an idea." They just stalk me 24/7, see what I'm doing, and then pretend like I'm listening to them. They may even record me walking to go do sit-ups, record it, and then create a setting where they have someone on a microphone say, "Go do sit-ups," and then play the recording as if that's occurring in real time. Parlor tricks. Let's not be retarded. So I've explained that like 1,000 fucking times already. So that's just what they're doing. They're just doing parlor tricks like that, and then just stalking me in real time and seeing what I'm doing, and then throwing out a command and pretending I'm listening to them when I'm already doing something. So don't fall for it. And that's just another one of their tactics. Another tactic: they're blackmailing, bribing, threatening people, or covertly abusing them. Like for instance, they'll be like, "We programmed to sleep in a different room," but what they're really doing is they're firing weapons at me from a fucking satellite, and then I go sleep in a different room to escape them. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because then they change the coordinate. Because then they get in this little scenario where I go sleep in a different room, then they start firing satellite weapons at me from in the other room. Then I go sleep in a different room, and they keep saying we programmed to go sleep in different rooms. No, they didn't. They're just firing weapons at me from a satellite. Uncharacterized radiation, by the way, that they tell people it's harmless, but they won't show anyone evidence-based proof it's harmless. So these guys are fucking full of shit. Bet my life. Or they'll shock your heart and tell, and when they shock your heart, they'll try to make commands from you. Or sometimes when they shock my heart, I just get weirded out by being in this environment, so I go to a different room or somewhere else, and I'm like, we programmed them. No, they didn't. They're just shocking my heart or doing something to me. So don't fall for bullshit. They got all sorts of weird tactics like that. So don't be a moron. That's their hassles they use on morons. Don't be a moron. Bet my life. Ask them what's this story about? It's an electrolysis laser. If they weren't using satellite weapons, and it's not an electrolysis laser. They're using all sorts of jazz. Ask them what their gamma radiation satellites are, and ask them what their fights about these new age neurosurgeries from satellites were about, and ask them the story about their devices they were claiming was a gamma knife, and using that as an excuse for using satellite weapons, and claiming it was a gamma knife and a medical tool. And then I was retorting in like 2018, late 2018, 2019, a scalpel's a medical tool, but if you use it to kill someone, it's a deadly weapon. Yeah, this was like 2019. So ask them about that. Oh, I was telling them this via telepathy. I'd hear these things go on via telepathy and throw out these retorts, and just out loud in my room, not in the computer and not anywhere. I didn't even know who the hell I was talking to. I was just hearing the shit. Oh, so these are key points. But yeah, don't fall for their bullshit. Their programming is just a bunch of parlor tricks. It doesn't work. Their tech is real. The implantable devices is real. Implantation is real. Telepathy is real. But they're just murdering your nervous system and modulating it. They can rev you up. Some stuff is unique and some stuff works. I mean, a lot of stuff is unnatural and uncharacterizable. Uh, they can rev you up. They can kind of create a negative sense of well-being as well as a positive sense of well-being, which is interesting, but still, I don't like people interacting with my nervous system. It's highly illegal. Yeah, I prefer my own natural feelings, or feelings I choose to have. Um, Not feelings that I don't want against my will, but that's the type of jazz. So some stuff works, kinda, But a lot of stuff is just parlor tricks, and it's not programming. They're just mimicking physiology and using neural mimicry. They have something called neural trace, where they can trace firing patterns and refire them. So they find out, oh, what's his brain, the brain map look like, and the firing patterns look like when he feels good, and then they capture that firing pattern somehow above my pay grade, and then they'll refire it and to try to synthesize that feeling. They have other tactics too, probably putting implantables in certain regions of the brain associated with well-being, pleasure, etc., and then just stimulating it. But yeah, they got all sorts of weird tactics. Regardless of that, a lot of their tactics involve committing harm and crimes on me and negative things. So that's a key point. Um, uh, but yeah, these are key points. These guys are ridiculous. Praise Jesus.